things that he was a part of that it's not known that it was him because he was caught up in different contracts. He, along with my mother, lost their lives in an automobile accident as right at the beginning of his career, as soon as he had just signed a major contract with a major label.
Jesse Belvin died in a car accident, but it seems the truth about his suspicious death has finally come to light. So, what exactly is this truth?
When all of those racist whites was around everybody's car, some of those were up under Jesse Belvin's car.
Well, it appears Belvin may have been murdered. For starters, he received 6 death threats from white supremacists during his performance at the Little Rock concert. Not long after, he was involved in a fatal crash.
Allegedly, while they were up under his car, they made slits to his tires, basically rigging the tires to blow out later on down the road.
There were even claims that the tires on his car had been tampered with. Some also say the driver may have been under the influence, or even worse, that Belvin was killed by one or more of his musical rivals. Let's get into it. So at the time when Jesse became really popular, he was singing on the same stage with Jackie Wilson. Sam Cooke,
I love you, 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 I love you.
and Marv Johnson.
But baby, you got what it takes.
People loved them, but this concert was not only about great music, it was also going to be the first time black and white people sat together in the same audience in Little Rock. This was called an integrated concert. It had never happened before in that city. So it was more than music, it was history. Jesse and the others were proud to be part of it, but they were also nervous. They knew it could be dangerous. Some people didn't like black and white people sitting together.
I'm saying this was the mecca of entertainment in the South.
When the show started, trouble began. Some of the white people in the crowd were angry. They didn't like sitting next to black people. These racists started yelling ugly words at the black people in the audience. They screamed insults and tried to make them feel small. It didn't make sense at all. They came to see black singers perform, but they were yelling at black people? That was very stupid. How could they insult black people and still want to enjoy a concert with black singers on stage? It was clear their thinking made no sense. Because of all the yelling and hate, the show could not go on. The concert was canceled. The black singers, including Jesse, didn't want to sing for people who were treating their fans badly. That made the angry white people even more mad. They started shouting even louder and acting wild. They got out of control. It became like a riot. Some of the white crowd ran outside and started going after the cars that belonged to the black performers: Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, Jesse Belvin, and Marv Johnson. It was getting dangerous. Police officers had been at the concert just standing around doing nothing. But when things got really bad, the police finally stepped in and broke up the mob. They pushed the crowd back so the performers could leave safely. Jackie Wilson and Jesse Belvin had already planned to leave together after the show. Jesse had seen Jackie's car earlier backstage, so they left the concert in their cars. Jackie Wilson was in the front car with his own driver. Jesse was in the second car. His wife Joanne sat on the passenger side in front. Jesse sat in the middle. The driver's name was Charles. All three of them were sitting in the front seat of Jesse's car. Behind them, there was a third car full of musicians. They were all part of the music tour. They were following behind Jesse and Jackie's cars as a group. Now, here is where the story becomes even more serious. But something started to go wrong. The car behind Jesse's car noticed that Jesse's car began to swerve from side to side on the road. The musicians inside the third car got worried. They began to honk their horn and flash their headlights. They were trying to wake up the driver. They could tell something was not right. It looked like Charles had fallen asleep behind the wheel. Jesse and Joanne were probably asleep too. Nobody in the front seat was fixing the car's movement. This was very dangerous. But sadly, something terrible happened not long after that. Jesse's car was in a bad crash. Charles may have fallen asleep again. The car hit something hard. The accident was very bad. When help arrived, they found Jesse and Joanne seriously hurt. Jesse died from his injuries. Joanne was also killed. Charles survived, but people said he should never have been driving that night. He had been tired, and he had a history of falling asleep at the wheel. If only someone else had driven, maybe Jesse and Joanne would still be alive.
He, along with my mother, lost their lives in an automobile accident right at the beginning of his career, as soon as he had just signed a major contract with a major label.
One theory is that Charles Ford might have been under the influence of alcohol or drugs at the time. Charles Ford used to work for the famous musician Ray Charles. He was known for partying a lot. Singer Etta James even said that Charles liked to party a little too much. This made some people wonder if he had been drinking or using drugs before the crash. It is possible that if he was not thinking clearly or couldn't control the car properly, the accident could have happened because of that. Some people who were driving on the same road said they saw his car moving into the wrong lane. They even tried to warn him by flashing their headlights. This made others believe that something was wrong with the way he was driving, even before the crash happened. But there was another version of the story. This one was very different. Some people believed that the crash was not an accident. They believed it was caused on purpose. They said that when Jesse and the others were still at the concert, some racist white people had gathered around the cars. These people were angry and full of hate. According to this version, some of those people went under Jesse's car and cut his tires. They made small slits in the rubber. These slits were not big enough to be noticed right away, but after driving for a while, the tires would blow out. People who believed this version said Jesse's tires were set up to fail. They believed it was a planned attack. In this version of the story, Jesse's car didn't keep swerving or anything like that. It just suddenly went into the other lane and crashed. That was it. No warnings, no signs, just one sudden and final moment. Many people in the black community believed this second version of the story. They didn't trust the first one. Back then, and even now, a lot of people believed Jesse and his wife Joanne were killed on purpose. There was another detail that made people believe the second version more. They said Jesse had called his mother from the concert. He told her, "Mama, something's not right. I feel scared. These people are talking to us badly. I just want to leave." Jesse was nervous. He didn't feel safe. He wanted to get out of there. And not long after, he was dead. That call to his mother made people feel even stronger about the idea that the car was tampered with. They said it was too much of a coincidence. Jesse said he was scared, and then he died in a crash. It didn't feel like an accident to them. Whether it was an accident or something planned, the crash was terrible. When the musicians finally reached the scene, it was shocking. The other car involved in the crash was still on fire, but when they walked to the front of the car, they saw something they would never forget. Jesse's body had been thrown halfway out of the windshield. From his waist up, he was hanging over the hood of the car. His clothes were torn badly. His shirt was ripped to pieces. There was glass everywhere. His face was badly hurt. He had deep cuts all over. His nose was torn and hanging loose. It was a horrible sight. Joanne survived the crash. When they opened the door and found her, she let out a weak sound. She was still alive. The musicians were shocked. They couldn't believe it. She was in very bad shape, but she was breathing. Meanwhile, Jackie Wilson had no idea what had happened. He had been ahead of Jesse Belvin and Joanne on the road, so he didn't know there had been a wreck. But instead, when Jackie got home and walked inside, he heard the phone ringing non-stop. The phone kept ringing and ringing. Finally, he picked it up. On the line were musicians calling from the hospital in Arkansas. They told Jackie that Jesse Belvin had been in a terrible car accident and that he didn't survive. They also told him that Jesse's wife, Joanne, was still alive, but badly hurt. Even worse, the hospital wouldn't give her any care because nobody could pay the bill. Jackie didn't waste any time. He gathered as much money as he could and rushed back down to Arkansas. When he got to the hospital, he brought a bag full of cash. Sadly, by the time Jackie got there, Joanne was in a deep coma. Something strange happened on February 6th. Joanne started to come out of the coma several times, and she was looking for her husband, Jesse. She was trying to hear his voice or see his face. Her heart was broken, and she didn't want to go on without him. She was calling out for Jesse in the only way she could. Her father knew it was time to tell her the truth. So, with a heavy heart, he leaned close to her and said, "Joanne, you're looking for Jesse, baby. Your husband Jesse didn't make it. He's gone." As soon as she heard those words, Joanne stopped banging. She didn't move again. She closed her eyes slowly and never opened them again. Joanne passed away quietly in her hospital bed. She was only 23 years old. Still, there has never been a clear answer from the police or other officials about what really caused the accident. No solid proof, no test results, no final report, and no strong evidence ever explained exactly what went wrong. Because of this, many people kept guessing and coming up with their own thoughts. Some believed it was just bad luck, but others believed something more serious might have happened. The lack of clear facts made the story more confusing and mysterious. When people don't have real answers, they often try to fill in the blanks with their own ideas. That's how rumors and conspiracy theories start. Some people even think that maybe the car's tires were messed with on purpose. Others say racial hatred might have played a part, since Jesse Belvin was a black artist who had just performed at an event where both black and white people were in the audience, something rare and risky at that time. The combination of many things made people suspicious. The idea of a drunk or drugged driver, possible damage to the car before the crash, and the fact that Jesse Belvin was a successful black musician traveling through the South during a time of racial tension. It all made the situation feel bigger than just a car crash. People wondered if someone wanted to hurt Jesse or stop his growing career. He had a lot of fans and was seen as someone with a bright future. His death just didn't make sense to many people, and it left a lot of questions unanswered. Another strange thing is that Jesse Belvin died at age 27. That's the same age as many other famous musicians who died young. This group of stars is often called the 27 Club. It includes people like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison. Many of them died because of drug use or troubled lives. While there is no proof that Jesse Belvin used drugs or had the same kind of lifestyle, some people still think it's odd that he died at the same age as them. It made people wonder if there's something deeper going on with young artists, like pressure, stress, or people around them who didn't care for their safety. The entertainment world can be full of problems that fans don't see. Even though there are many ideas and theories, the truth about Jesse Belvin's death has never been fully known. Some people still believe it was just a terrible accident. Others think there was more to it. Until there is real proof, the story will remain full of mystery and sadness. What's clear is that Jesse Belvin's life ended too soon, and the world lost a talented singer who had so much more to give. Jesse Belvin helped write the song Earth Angel. It became a big hit for a group called the Penguins.
Earth Angel, Earth Angel.
The song was very popular in the 1950s and is still loved today, but the story behind the song was not smooth. There was a lot of confusion about who really wrote it.
So many songs he wrote, and early on in his career he didn't get credit for them because he was trying to get started in the music industry.
Okay.
And he sold a lot of music outright.
Curtis Williams from the Penguins said he wrote it. Another man also said he helped. Belvin also said he had written part of it. Because of all these claims, people started fighting over who should get credit. A lawsuit was filed to decide the truth. After the case, the court decided to give 1/3 credit to each person: Curtis Williams, Jesse Belvin, and the third man. This meant they would all share the money the song made. It was a hard lesson about how important it is to write down clearly who did what when making music. In 2001, Jesse Belvin got into trouble again. But this time, it was not about music. He was working at a company called Kansas City Southern Railroad. People there said he used the company's computers for personal things during work time. They said he went to websites that were not allowed while he was supposed to be working. This was against company rules. Instead of fighting the charges, Belvin agreed to take a 60-day break from work without pay. The company did not do a full investigation because Belvin accepted the punishment. Even though it did not go to court, this situation hurt his work record and made people question his choices. Belvin also had problems with his music money. Many people said he sold the rights to his songs for very small amounts of money, sometimes as low as $100. This caused more problems later. Other people started saying they owned his songs and wanted the money from them. This made it hard to know who really owned the music, because he sold his rights so quickly and cheaply. Belvin lost a lot of money that he could have earned later. It also caused many fights about the ownership of his songs. His story shows how important it is for musicians to protect their work and not sell it without thinking carefully. Back in 1956, Jesse Belvin helped write a beautiful song called "Goodnight, My Love."
Good night, my love.
The song became very popular and is still remembered today. Jesse had a soft voice that touched people's hearts, but the song did not come without problems. Jesse worked with others to finish the song, and some people later argued over who should get credit for writing it. Some people believed Jesse did most of the work, while others claimed they helped and deserved part of the credit and money. Because of these disagreements, there were fights about who really owned the song and who should get the money it earned. Years later, there was even more confusion about the song. Some people said a famous singer named Barry White played piano on "Goodnight, My Love."
Pleasant dreams, sleep tight, my love.
But that could not be true. Barry White was only 11 years old in 1956. He was still a child and not yet a musician, so it was not possible for him to have played on that song. Still, some books and websites continued to say Barry White played piano, even though it was wrong. This kind of mistake made it harder to know the full truth about who really worked on the song. It also showed that people sometimes write things without checking the facts. After Jesse Belvin passed away, more problems came up. Years later, in 2006, a company called Night Train Records put out a CD named So Fine. This CD had 29 songs that were said to be Jesse Belvin's work, but Jesse's son, Jesse Belvin Jr., said the release was not legal. He said the record company did not ask for permission from the family. He also said 26 of the 29 songs were taken without the family's okay. Jesse Jr. believed the company was trying to make money off his father's name without showing respect. He tried to speak up and stop them, but it became a big legal fight. This hurt the family, as they felt his music was being misused.
He actually started in the church. My grandmother was a church pianist extraordinaire, and that's where the music came from and all of it.
Jesse Belvin was born in San Antonio, Texas. When he was just 5 years old, his family moved to Los Angeles, California. Life in Los Angeles gave him more chances to follow his dream of singing. Even as a young boy, he loved music. He listened to records and sang along. His voice was smooth and full of emotion. Many people who heard him sing knew he had something special. Music was in his heart from the beginning. On July 10, 1949, Jesse Belvin got a big chance. He performed as the opening act at a big music show called the Fifth Cavalcade of Jazz. It took place at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles. He shared the stage with famous musicians like Big J. McNeely and Lionel Hampton. This was a big moment for him. It helped people in the music world notice his talent. After this show, he kept working hard to build his name. In 1950, Jesse joined a singing group called 3 Dots and a Dash. This group sang backup for saxophone player Big J McNeely. Jesse's voice stood out. He sang on many records with the group. People liked the mix of saxophone and smooth vocals. It gave Jesse more experience and helped him grow as a singer. In 1952, Jesse signed with Specialty Records. At first, his solo songs did not become hits, but he didn't give up. His fourth record, Dream Girl, became a big success. He sang this song with Marvin Phillips, and the record was credited to Jesse and Marvin. The song reached number 2 on the R&B chart in 1953. This was a big win for him. It showed that his hard work was paying off. Around 1953, Jesse was drafted into the Army. Even while serving, he kept writing songs. In 1956, Jesse signed with Modern Records. He also recorded for other labels using different names. That same year, he released Goodnight, My Love. It became his biggest hit, reaching number 7 on the R&B chart. Some people said young Barry White played the piano on that song, but Barry denied it later. Goodnight, My Love became the closing song for a popular radio show. Jesse's voice touched many hearts. Jesse's later songs with Modern Records did not do as well. In 1958, he joined a group called The Shields. They recorded a song called You Cheated, which became a hit. It reached number 15 on the pop chart and number 11 on the R&B chart.
You cheated, you lied, you said.
The group included singer Frankie Irvin and guitarist Johnny Guitar Watson. Jesse's smooth voice continued to shine in group work too. In 1956, Jesse also made a record with Eugene Church under the name The Clicks. Their song, The Girl in My Dreams, became a hit and reached number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100.
My dream, where are you?
This song was later covered by another group that became famous, the Four Lovers, who later became the Four Seasons. Jesse's music kept inspiring other artists. By early 1959, a small label called Tender Records released a record with Jesse and a group called The Capris. The songs were Beware,
I can't resist you, your touch. Love you too much.
and Endless Love.
Oh, you know I love you.
These songs showed Jesse's deep voice and strong feelings in his singing. His music continued to grow in style. Jesse's wife, Joanne, was very important in his career. She was his manager and supported his music. She pushed him to improve his sound. In 1959, he signed with RCA Records and had a top 40 hit called Guess Who.
Guess who? Guess who?
Joanne wrote this song. It started as a love letter she wrote to Jesse. He turned it into a song, and it became a big hit. Jesse also made an album called Just Jesse Belvin. He sang ballads in a smooth and classy way, like Nat King Cole and Billy Eckstine. His style influenced singers like Sam Cooke. People started calling him Mr. Easy. Later that year, Jesse recorded more songs with a big orchestra led by Marty Paich. The band included sax player Art Pepper. Jesse sang old classics like Blues in the Night and Makin' Whoopee. These songs were put on an album called Mr. Easy. Jesse's voice was soft, smooth, and full of feeling. Many fans believed he was on his way to becoming a very big star.